My name's Lucy Birkinshaw and I'm a lighting designer. This is the first day of bump in at Theatre Works of a show called The Hat Pin, presented by Meg Normus. Well, I actually trained in fine arts and from there went into fashion design. And my first experience with lighting was on these really theatrical fashion parades that we used to organise. And I met the lighting designer who was doing some quite different, unusual stuff that I hadn't seen before. And he really inspired me to have a look at other things that he did. And then after a few months, I thought, yep, this is for me, I'm going to go retrain. So I did. I think one of the most important parts of the process is your relationship with the director and the script initially. It's very difficult to work through a show where you don't have a good grasp on the script and a good communication relationship with the director. The most enjoyable parts is certainly once you're in the space, the rig's up, you've done all the hard focusing work and you really start to get to play with the levels of light and really talk through the show and get that in the desk. It's always very gratifying when you start running cues and you're like, there it is, that's what I meant. Well, The Hat Pin is based on a true story and it's an Australian contemporary musical. It's based on a family that took in babies from mothers who couldn't look after them and took their money to help them pay for the baby and then murdered the babies. So it's a pretty dark, it's a pretty dark musical, and from that, I guess the whole lighting design is quite dark. There's not a lot of fancy ballyhoos and that kind of thing. It's all very subtle. There's a lot of tone rather than bright colours, lots of rusty browns, deep blues, and not too many crazy effects. The set that Christina has created for this is very sectional. It's very divided. There's walkways and there's different levels. So I sort of approached it from lighting each section as it needs to be. And I think that I've concentrated on a few key effects. There's moments of really strong, narrow backlight, and there's a rain effect, which has been interesting to try and create with very little budget. Rather than concentrating on large areas and full stage stuff, which you normally would spend a bit of time on, this is very small. I think my top tip would be to really get involved. Get out there, see a lot of shows, see a lot of different types of lighting. So even if you're not interested in that particular area of theatre or dance, it's really important to see how other people approach design. And then I think get in as a technician or get in someone who can have a look at some other people working. Even if you can't access a design yet, you're still involved in other people's creations.